Welcome to the Two Schmoes Show, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Chief Mr. Ryan, and I'm fucking done with election season already, but hey, we've only got a couple more episodes till the big night, so.
Yeah, I'm Cairo, and I am extremely tired of a lot of this. But it's important to talk about it.
Oh, yeah, no. It's our patriotic duty
So,
to talk about this.
yes, it is. It is.
Yeah, we can't really, you know, as white men who are allowed to have more than one political opinion according to a certain senator, we, gotta carry the flag.
Yep. Yep.
Oh, God, I can't.
Man, what didn't happen this week?
The governor did not get kidnapped.
No, no. And the whole thing. I'm glad that it seems like the systems that were put in place for this kind of thing to prevent this kind of thing really worked well.
Yes.
Because they knew about this. I don't even want to call it an operation. They knew about what these people were going to try to do for months ahead of time and waited to act at the most strategic point in order to make sure that it didn't happen and make sure that they had the evidence that they need to actually take these pieces of shit down.
I think this is a good exercise in why fucking guys with beers and guns should recognize they are not fucking trained professionals like the actual feds.
No. I saw a great. It was just some random person's comment on the internet, but talking about like compare these guys to like ISIS.
Yeah.
These are far right militarized extremists with big fucking beards talking about like culture wars and shit with guns. Like it's literally Al Qaeda in the US.
Aquita.
1-to-1. Y'all Qaeda is one of them.
Y'all.
I don't like using those kinds of terms though, because it kind of by making a joke out of them, it's fun to laugh at these kinds of guys, but they're a serious threat.
Oh, they are.
And that is also what these kinds of pieces of shit want. They call themselves ridiculous stuff like the Proud Boys and the Boogaloo Boys because it makes them sound silly. Like, oh, it's just boys being boys, and it's fucking not.
It's really just taking the threat out of them so you can like tolerate them a little bit more than what they're actually capable of. It's like what fucking those nice guys like to do in with girls where they say I'm a nice guy and I wouldn't do anything bad.
Yep.
It's literally the same tactic. It's fucking stupid.
But it works.
Oh yeah.
It makes the people who have to say these dumbass organization names, that makes the news people look kind of ridiculous because they're so absurd in what they've named themselves.
Oh yeah. I mean, why do you think I named the show the Two Schmoes Show? So when people are like, I don't like what these two, news commentary guys were talking about. Well, who were they? The Two Schmoes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the same tactic, but I will point out our opinions are 100% bullshit because we do not have. Well, I have a degree in journalism, but not like commentary
we are willing
or political
to
analysis.
Do not trust opinions from us.
Yes.
Like, we're happy to discuss this kind of shit, but we are not professionals on any of these topics.
No, I mean I can do
Educate
news
yourselves
analysis.
and form your own opinions.
Yeah.
That's the important thing.
Yeah, there's like one person I trust with political opinions, and that's a guy who actually studied political science.
Mm-hmm.
Holy fuck. Yeah. So, for all the other, small militias out there, don't. Just don't.
Yeah, stop, please.
Put the Pabst Blue Ribbon down, son.
They're honestly not militias even.
No, militias are organized.
They are. These are just straight up domestic terrorists.
Yeah. I think even putting the word militia legitimizes them a little bit.
It does. It absolutely does.
Fuck. Yeah. I don't know what else to say, but this, why Michigan? Like, we're not the only state that had a bad, like, lockdown, but...
Okay, so it's like two things, because not all these guys are from Michigan. There was a headline earlier this week that two of them were put on $10 million bond, $10 million bail each. And some of the others were put on lesser amounts, but it was because they we're still waiting on some of these guys to get extradited from other states. So it's definitely not just Michigan, but like, which state's female governor has Trump been harping on Twitter for the last 5-6 months?
Oh hell yeah, man. No, I think it's a
Yeah,
sexism thing as well.
100%. But I mean,
Yeah.
there's other female Democratic governors, but there's only one of them that Trump called that woman in Michigan.
Yes, Rick Schneider.
Rick Schneider.
Rick Schneider poisoned a city, and we're still okay with that. Think about that. I'm sorry, I've been harping on that a lot lately.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man. Regardless of my own personal opinions towards the governor, congrats on not being kidnapped.
Yes.
Go you. Did they even say what their plan was after they kidnapped her, or were they just going to like smuggle her to Canada?
They were going to murder her.
I thought
they
so.
were straight up going to kill her.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah, that's terrorism. Like,
yeah, no, I mean, it's like not even thinly veiled. Their whole thing was straight up that they were going to kidnap the governor, put her on trial for treason, and then execute her for treason.
So
trial, big air quotes, trial.
I was about to say, that sounds like if you already say you're going to murder them after the trial, it sounds like you don't even have a fucking trial. It's a kangaroo court.
No, they don't. They absolutely don't.
No. It's only to have another thin veil of justice. Of pretend justice. Who the fuck would be the judge?
They would be.
Oh.
Judge, jury, and executioner.
Oh, that's legal.
Mm-hmm.
See, if you replace all that with, instead of Whitmer, Trump, that's literally, like, high-class terrorism.
100%.
For the feds that are our most loyal listener on this show, good job, guys. Proud of you. What you looking up there, Cairo?
I'm pulling up a couple other news stories. There's like so much shit. I'm trying to like go back and remember everything that happened.
I know.
It's really hard. Especially when there's so much going on in like in other countries too. Like we've got enough shit in the US, but there's a lot of important stuff happening around the world.
Isn't there always?
Yeah. But like this week in particular, there was some pretty funny shit too. That
The Fly?
No. Let me see if I can find this one real quick. Put my good Google skills to use. So I don't remember. Okay.
Yes.
No, I don't want notifications from the International Business Times. So this is an Indian fan of Donald Trump who literally worshipped him as a god. He apparently fasted for Trump. And from what I was reading earlier today, when he learned that Trump had COVID, he literally died. This Indian guy died of a fucking heart attack.
And you all claim to be Trump supporters.
Yeah.
Fucking.
Where are your heart attacks?
Where are you at? Y'all were probably like, it's a fucking ploy by the Democrats, but this man literally died for his savior.
So yeah, this is Busa Krishna, 33-year-old man from southern Indian state of Telangana, was a fan of the president and used to worship his photo every day. Last year, Krishna built a 6-foot statue of the president in front of his house, which means it's a bigger statue than Trump is, which has posters and stickers of Trump all over it. And when he was informed of Trump testing positive for COVID, he became depressed and starved and prayed for the president's recovery. And yeah, then he had a heart attack, rushed to the hospital where he died.
This man died for Donald's sins.
Yeah.
Holy crap. What a
Yeah,
Chad.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but like, where the fuck are all you? Y'all have a beer for Donald Trump. This man dies for him.
Yep.
I can't get over that. What do you say to that? Like,
It's literally like the kind of thing you would think you would read in The Onion.
Yeah.
But it's real. It's right here.
Shoutouts to that guy. The saddest part is he could never vote for Trump because he's not a United States citizen.
Nope.
What do you think they're going to do with that statue now?
I have no idea.
Like, send it to
Hopefully
the White House?
nothing.
Oh. Okay.
Burn it to the ground. No, I doubt they'd send it anywhere. It's probably a shitty statue, anyways.
You think it's just going to...
Trump? It's a statue of Trump. It's by default shitty.
Oh, damn. You think they're just going to keep it there, and then, like, thousands of years from now, like, when, scientists recome to claim Earth, after, like, years of pollution have made it, unlivable, they find this mysterious statue in the heart of India, like, with all this reclaimed nature and jungles, and they're like, what could this mean?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
All right. Well, jeez. Let me try and organize. Do you want to take a guess how many tabs I have open right now?
13.
Oh, no.
15.
Nope.
26.
22.
Damn.
And I've already closed a few out. I'm just trying to organize it between international and U.S. news right now.
That's quite the... Aren't we always international, though?
Oh, of course. Oh yeah, the fucking Nobel Prizes are being awarded right now too. Like that's a thing.
Yeah.
In the middle of everything else.
Wasn't like Biden's kid one of the part of the groups that won?
No. I really doubt that.
I heard something about like someone linked to the presidential campaigns right now won an award. That could have been a fake news article because I didn't bother reading into it too much. What you got going on there, Kyril?
So I'm reading actually one of the Nobel Prize awards. This one is for economics.
Okay.
Was awarded to Paul Milgram and Robert Wilson, who won the award for their work on auction theory, which I didn't even know was a thing.
I'm curious now.
They're game theorists who have helped in developing formats for the sale of aircraft landing slots, radio spectrums, and emissions trading.
Okay.
Oh, so this is like corporate level auctions. This is like completely different from what I expected based on the headline.
I'm a little scared what you expected.
Well, I expected this to be like estate sales and
yeah,
you know, like that, not like Sprint and Verizon are dividing who gets what radio frequencies to operate on.
Oh,
Like that's what this is apparently.
Okay.
From what I'm reading at least. So, this is a quote from the chair of the Nobel Prize Committee. This year's laureates in economic sciences started off with fundamental theory and later used the results in practical applications, which have spread globally. Their discoveries are of great benefit to society. So this is apparently talking about the theory surrounding the idea of a winner's curse, which is overpaying in order to win an auction. So they apparently developed theory behind why people bid the way they do and why they put maximum bids the way they do that are below what they personally think the actual value of the object is in order to avoid ever overpaying.
Okay. Huh.
Professor Milgram put together a theory which takes takes into account not only auctions where the object turns out to have the same value for all the bidders, but also for auctions where the object is valued differently by different bidders. He demonstrated that the seller should get a higher revenue when bidders learn more about each other's estimated values during bidding. What?
Yeah, I don't know.
This is the kind of thing that I feel like I need to read a couple of like actual papers to actually understand.
I agree. I am bad with economics.
This is fucking dense.
You know what it reminds me of a little bit?
Yeah.
It reminds me of like those law science papers you were talking about, like the patents for chemicals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it reminds me of that when you were describing those to me one fall day about 2 years ago.
Yeah. There's apparently been some criticism over who it was awarded to, but mostly that seems to be because it was awarded to two European white guys talking about corporate auctions when there are many more relevant areas of economics to most people.
I can see that. You know, in fact, I'll agree with that. Probably something a little more economic.
Yep. Huh. Interesting. All right. Let's get into like what do you want to start with?
Hit me with your best shot, cause
best shot.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna start with this one. This is Pete Buttigieg was on Fox News. I don't know why, however you say his last name, I don't know why Fox keeps inviting him on, because every time they have him on, he embarrasses them.
Ratings.
Apparently. So this is an excerpt from the interview between Chris Wallace, who hosted the first presidential debate, probably the only presidential debate this election cycle. Yeah. Between Chris Wallace and Pete. So, Wallace, do you believe at any point in pregnancy that there should be any limit on a woman's right to an abortion? Buttigieg. I think the dialogue has gotten so caught up on when you draw the line that we've gotten away from the fundamental question of who gets to draw the line, and I trust women to draw the line. Wallace pointed to late-term abortions and asked Buttigieg what his position was in back and forth. You'd be okay with a woman well into the third trimester to obtain an abortion? These hypotheticals are set up to provoke a strong emotional reaction. These aren't hypotheticals, Wallace said. There are 6,000 women a year who get an abortion in the third trimester. That's right, representing less than 1% of cases a year. This is data supported from a 2019 LA Times report. So let's put ourselves in the shoes of a woman in that situation. If it is late in your term pregnancy, if it is that late in your pregnancy, that means almost by definition, you've been expecting to carry it to term. We're talking about women who have perhaps chosen the name, women who have purchased the crib, families that then get the most devastating medical news of their lifetime, something about the health or the life of the mother that forces them to make an impossible, unthinkable decision. That decision is not going to be made any better, medically or morally, because the government is dictating how that decision should be made.
Well, that's a well thought out answer.
Yeah. I don't know why Fox keeps letting this guy on. Like, he's very clearly not on the same side as them, and he's giving very understandable and reasonable responses.
Yeah, no, like hell yeah, my dude, I'll drink to that.
Yeah, right?
I don't know how else to say it, but that's like totally the right reason.
I'm really glad to see people like how do you say his name?
Buttigieg.
Buttigieg, is that right?
Yes, because we had to cover him a lot when he was running for president when I was working at the radio station.
That's just...
It doesn't sound right, does it?
It doesn't look right. Let me see. Wikipedia usually has things like that, don't they?
Yeah.
Buttigieg. Wow. Yeah.
I always keep thinking of the Budapest song when I hear his name.
I would never have guessed that. Yeah, it's mostly the Gieg part.
Isn't it?
I wouldn't have expected both of the G's to be pronounced
Jidge.
J's. Buttigieg. Okay. But yeah, I'm really glad to see people like Buttigieg and um, Whitmer, governor of Michigan, who are younger Democrats that are like putting their foot down and just calling out bullshit that these people try to put out. It's really refreshing.
Oh, I totally agree. I think there's this way of thought that's prevalent along the lines of like most politicians past the age of like 55, where things are the way they are because that's the way they are, that
Yep.
they don't like, they've cemented this life experience, and that there's no way that this life experience, which is fundamentally their gospel, can be altered or changed against in all the years that they've lived past the cementation of this idea. And then we have Buttigieg giving a perfectly reasonable explanation of like why a third trimester abortion should be an idea. Um, it just blows my mind that no one thought of this beforehand.
Wait, what? What's this? Yeah, no, completely agree. Seeing like lifelong, uh, lifelong politicians like equivocate on some of this crap is so just like what do you actually stand for? Why are you here if you're just going to equivocate over this garbage? People on the other side of the aisle aren't doing it, so why are you?
That's something I don't understand about a lot of politicians nowadays. Some of them are just there to keep the status quo,
Yep,
which is like the opposite of what politics should fucking be, but that's just me.
absolutely. Well, I can guarantee why that is. It's because they get their
Money.
pockets lined from big corporations who want things to not change.
Thanks, Mitch.
That's one of yeah, right. That's one of the major reasons why there's a lot of uh, like Wall Street as a whole basically wants Trump out because he's so unpredictable that the stock market they don't know what the stock market is ever going to do. It's great for short-term profits, but short-term profits when you're talking about stocks are pretty meaningless. You care about predictable long-term growth. That's how these people make their money.
Yeah, no, it's an investment for a reason, not
Yeah,
fucking like, shot in
and
the
you don't have
dark.
that. Like who's Trump gonna support, endorse, or try to take down on Twitter tomorrow? Who's he gonna put a tariff on? What industries is he gonna try to put a tariff on? It's
Oh, yeah.
completely fucking random.
Imagine all the people that bought stock in Twitter.
Oh
They're crying right now.
man.
No, that's something I 1000% agree with. And, that's interesting to hear that because I wonder how many people's retirements Trump has unknowingly subjugated to, uh, what's the word I'm looking for? Intense change.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you see, Whitney,
Yep.
you and your husband Jeff, that whole like stock you guys bought in Twitter. Well, it's kind of meaningless right now because the president says he wants to, ban it. So we moved you to TikTok. I'm sorry. I'm just being told that we have to move you away from TikTok now.
Yeah. And the really crazy thing is that it's frustrating to see this equivocation, but it's like it seems like apparently the Republicans have been doing it too lately with some of these like absolutely ridiculous statements that have been coming out.
Oh, can we talk about Lindsey Graham? Because I really want to talk about that.
Um, yeah, though we got two guys. So Lindsey Graham is the first one. I don't even have this story pulled up. I'm gonna try and find the quote because it's so
Bad.
fucking stupid.
It is
Yeah,
literally the worst take ever.
it is terrible. Is that top of oh ads on Google? Thanks. Um, here we go. See if this has the full quote.
I'm scared.
This does not because they are paywalling.
I hope you're all ready to cringe.
Man, I just want, just give me the damn quote. Slate better not have paywalls. They don't. Okay. Okay. Do they have the full quote? Yes, they do. It is so. Where is this?
I'm scared.
To young people out there of color, to young immigrants, this is a great state. But one thing I can say without any doubt, you can be an African American and go to the Senate, but you just have to share the values of our state. If you're a young African American or immigrant, you can go anywhere in the state. You just need to be conservative, not liberal.
Yeah.
Yep.
Your right to an opinion is forfeit if you're a minority.
Basically.
No
Unless
one...
you're conservative.
Yeah.
Then you're fine.
Nobody.
Yeah, and in the wake of that, his opponent for the Senate, James Harrison, has completely just destroyed past fundraising records. So, in the final quarter of his campaign, now he's raised $57 million, and it shows people are like rightfully pissed off about what Graham said, and they're literally voting with their pocketbook.
Literally voting, like
Yeah,
holy shit.
Literally. I mean, it's like literally 5-1 with the amount of fundraising they've gotten in this last quarter.
I really hope that's playing on all the TV stations in California right now. I'm sorry, not
South Carolina.
South Carolina. You're right.
I guarantee it is.
Yeah.
Harrison's got $57 million to put towards advertisements. Now I can be sure he's going to be using it well because it's on video.
Yeah.
All this shit's recorded in these town halls.
I would love to see Graham going back to his publicist is like, I think I fucking nailed that interview, and then his publicist is like, what the fuck did you just do?
Oh yeah, no, it was massively stupid.
That
but Graham is unbelievably not the biggest piece of shit Republican senator that we have to talk about this week.
Bullshit.
After that, there's someone who's a bigger asshole.
Okay.
So you ready for this?
No.
Earlier this week, Utah Senator Mike Lee issued a statement that I don't even remember what it is. It's basically that democracy doesn't matter. And he framed it in some very fancy way that it was like, people's rights and liberty are what matters. Democracy is not the goal, or something like that, which is just like, what are you even talking about? Democracy is like fundamental to our country. So he got a bunch of heat for that. Then shortly after, he tested positive for COVID, and being a member of the Senate, this is kind of a big deal. Lindsey Graham was getting shit because he wouldn't say whether or not he was positive or negative for COVID. He's been exposed to a bunch of people who have been, and these people who test positive, one would assume at least, would not at least be in person in the Senate for the hearings that are about to take place for the Supreme Court seat. Yes. Mike Lee, though, was in the Senate today without a mask, days after he tested positive for COVID.
I think he tested positive for dumbass.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fucking old career politicians in that room. Why do you want to kill them?
Yep. It is one thing to say that, if you're not a liberal, basically you have no rights. It's another thing to actively take actions that put not just, other people's health on the line here, but like other Republicans' health on the line. Fucking Ted Cruz was reporting to the Senate hearings by video. He's not there in person because he was exposed to Mike Lee after he tested positive. But Lee is still there and won't say whether or not he's tested positive or negative in the last few days.
I think the real reason is that someone called his wife ugly again and Ted's feelings were hurt and he couldn't face them in person.
It didn't stop him from making stump calls for Trump in 2016. I will never forgive Ted Cruz for that. Like, Trump publicly and very specifically insulted Ted Cruz's wife, and within months he was making phone calls on behalf of him. How spineless do you have to be to do a 180 that fast? Even
Chiral,
if your wife is okay with it, you when someone directly insults a member of your fucking family, you don't then support them.
I'm convinced Ted Cruz is part blobfish based off his facial structure, which
Oh
would
yeah,
also
that's why
account.
he's got the beard now. That's
Yeah,
why he's got the beard,
yeah.
because he doesn't want to show his face.
He didn't want to give off this blobfish vibe. He didn't want to insinuate that he didn't have a spine despite his action.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yeah.
how is he not divorced, by the way?
I don't know. Probably because his wife is just as brainwashed as he is.
Like,
Or
if
they're just making too much damn money off of campaign contributions to give a shit.
that could be it too. Maybe they get a nice little stipend from the Trump family every year because of that comment.
No, I doubt it. Trump isn't, I I really doubt it. Because I don't even think Trump's apologized.
Oh, he never apologizes. That's the sign of weakness.
Because he never does, right? Yeah. So, oh yeah. And that wasn't enough. This one is not. This is a developing story still, but it seems pretty clear what's been happening right now, and there have been official statements from California state officials on it already. So there is, not like anything definitive, but it's pretty clear what's been happening. In southern parts of California in recent weeks, there have been unofficial ballot drop-off boxes that have popped up that by all means appear to be placed by California Republicans. And this is the situation where it's really hard for the California Republicans to say that, oh, they didn't do this, because it's a felony to do that. That is like straight up voter fraud.
Yeah.
But they have basically admitted to it publicly that they were doing this. It's like, how stupid of a thing can you do? So one, it's like they're trying to prove that voter fraud exists by committing voter fraud themselves. Two, these are state laws they're breaking, not federal. Trump can't pardon these people.
He will try
so
to.
It's not like they have a get out of jail free card on this. These are state election laws. And so far, it seems like who was this? Alex Padilla, California Secretary of State, issued a statement saying that it's a clear violation of state laws, and that it hopefully there's not been anything definitive yet. But by all means, it seems like they're going to be going after the people who've been doing this, and I certainly fucking hope so.
You think they just realized they can never win California because it's so left leaning that they just said fuck it?
Basically.
Yeah. That's my whole perspective on that, because why else would they do that?
Yeah, it straight up is. There is no other reason.
Yeah. My real question is, did anybody fall for it?
It seems to be that way.
I mean, why else would attention get called to it if it was, that way?
There's one person I've seen whose name has come up a few times. I'm going to try and see if they are, like, anyone. Because I super don't know. Oh. So this is... Oh, that's really interesting. Okay, so yeah, no, this is like... no question here. So Jordan Teig is the regional field director of the California Republican Party. And in a now deleted tweet, he said, "Doing my part and voting early. This is by far the most important congressional election I've ever voted in. I'm so proud to have cast my vote for whoever. DM me for convenient locations to drop your ballot off at." And as a picture of him standing in front of a box that says official ballot drop-off box that is apparently not an official ballot drop-off box.
What the fuck?
Yup. I didn't realize who this guy was when I was first seeing this. I thought he was just some dumbass Republican who didn't know what the fuck was going on. But no, he is the, according to his Twitter bio, regional field director of the California Republican Party.
That is legitimately conspiracy.
100%.
Whoa, man, like, I don't know what to say to that. That's like, I want to know something. Why did this man, who has a mainly Republican audience on Twitter, I'm assuming, post that if the whole point of this was to, I don't know, I just feel like they're wasting Republican votes at that point. Like, just fucking feeding them to the goat.
Mm-hmm.
What is their strategy?
The whole thing's a joke. And very, very frustrating.
Yes, it is.
So here's some levity to help break it up a bit.
Please.
Mike Pence was speaking at a Florida retirement community, and during his speech, a plane with a banner flew overhead that said, "Pence is why you can't see your grandkids."
Ooh. My heart.
So that was nice. One of my favorite parts of this is a comment that somebody made that is, once again, something that flies just stole the show from Pence.
Ouch. Yeah, that's good. I like that. That's not a party foul.
Yep.
Ugh. I don't think my heart can take much more of this.
Oh, I hope you're ready. I've still got more than half of my tabs open.
Fuck. Okay, I need a breather.
All right, take a breather.
Okay, I'm ready.
Oh man. We'll jump over this. I mentioned this earlier before we started. It's just so dumb. Carlo Acutis, an Italian teenager, could be the first millennial to be sainted. He apparently died of leukemia in 2006, at the age of 15, and has apparently already been dubbed unofficially the patron saint of the internet. On Saturday, he was beatified. I don't know what that means. I'm going to Google it real quick, though. Search Google for this. Beatified is in the Roman Catholic Church, and to announce the beatification of. Thank you, Google, you useless piece of crap. Beatification is a recognition accorded by the Catholic Church of a deceased person's entrance into heaven and capacity to intercede on behalf of individuals who pray in his or her name. So that sounds like kind of a big deal.
So he's confirmed to go to heaven.
By the Pope, I guess.
Yep.
Beatified at a ceremony in the town of Assisi and moved one step closer to sainthood. The teenager recorded purported miracles online and helped run websites for Catholic organizations. So, I don't really care about any of that, you know.
Yeah.
If that's the case, whatever. I'm not a Catholic. I'm never probably ever going to be a Catholic. I like the current Pope, but that's just because he has the same political stance as me for the most part. He seems like a decent guy. What I found hilarious about this is that I have a handful of Google Chrome plugins that just sort of help keep everything lighthearted, especially with Trump in the news as much as he is. I have one from the show Last Week Tonight that turns every instance of the word Trump into Drumpf, which is his family's traditional last name back in like the 1600s.
Yep.
I also have one that is called Millennials to Snake People, which turns instances of the word millennial or millennials into snake person or snake people. And pretty regularly it leads to some hilarious instances like this. So on my screen right now, the title for this is Italian Teenager Could Be First Snake Person Saint. I love it.
I, for one, welcome our new snake person overlord.
Absolutely. All hail the Sneeple.
The Sneeple.
Sneeple, the snake people.
That's not the politically correct term. I hope you know that, right?
What?
It's not the politically correct term.
Oh, sorry.
It's a snake person American.
Yes, you are correct.
Yes.
Um. Okay. Man. Do you want to stay U.S. for now or go more international? Because
I,
I've got some of both.
I'd say let's keep it in the good old US of A because our dumbassery knows no bounds.
All right. So calls have started for the resignation of a Michigan sheriff who took the stage with members of the so-called militia that were plotting to uh, kidnap, abduct Governor Gretchen Whitmer.
I remember that.
Yeah, so this was back at a rally in May. Barry County Sheriff Dar Lee. No fucking way, that's his name.
Barry County Sheriff, you said?
Do you want to? I didn't say he's a sheriff of Barry County. Yes, his name is Dar Leaf.
Darleaf.
Like, I I didn't know either of those could be an individual's name.
Oh my god, he looks like a Darleaf.
Yeah, right. So Barry County Sheriff Darleaf, who told M Live he knows some of the men who were arrested last week in an alleged plot to kidnap Governor Gretchen Whitmer, spoke out against the governor at a May 18th rally alongside those men. Alongside one of those men, specifically William Null. A protest has now come asking for Leaf's resignation that was planned for 8 a.m. on Tuesday. It has apparently been canceled over safety concerns. Huh, that's interesting. But yeah, he was featured at an event with one of these terrorists and other members of the Michigan Liberty Militia. What a dumb name.
The MLM.
That's what I was thinking too.
An MLM. He joined the MLM.
Yeah.
Oh, that goes to show.
This was during the American Patriot rally.
So, I looked up Barry County Sheriff on Google real quick.
Yeah.
And someone fucking vandalized their Google knowledge panel. Because you get St. Susan St. James Catholic Church from Family Guy as their location photo.
What?
Followed by a Simpsons, I'm assuming it's Simpsons because the skins aren't yellow, of a website called Christlist. And then you get a fucking still the Simpsons movie where it has Nelson laughing at Bart's dick. What the fuck happened here?
I am very confused by that too. People must have uploaded these as part of their Google reviews.
Yeah.
I would guess. I will say though, Google reviews for police departments are usually hilarious.
I'm looking to see what else I can dig up on this. View all Google reviews.
A day ago, this department is a joke, especially Leaf. Leaf is an embarrassment.
Yeah. Darleaf
Darleaf is a joke. Hicks with badges, that sounds about right. Got stabbed 7 times in it.
Oh, God.
Jesus. I mean, that does sound about right for the area, but
Darleaf is garbage.
Interesting. Yeah. So that's a thing that is happening.
Yeah. I'm from Barry County too, so this is funny to me.
Oh yeah, no, that's you know what I mean by I'm not surprised someone got stabbed 7 times.
Oh no. I'm surprised it was only 7. Must have not been feeling well that day.
Yeah.
You know, actually, a couple of those guys were from Hastings, Michigan, though.
Oh yeah, no, totally. The most of the ones who've been arrested are either from Michigan or Northern Ohio.
Yeah. Which Ohio, get your shit together. We don't need any more problems up here.
Seriously, we've got our own.
The fucking Midwest, man, is really weird. I don't understand Midwest hicks. I can understand rednecks in the South a little bit, but Midwest hicks who are like, my family comes from the Confederacy, so I'm going to bring you up to the fucking Midwest, the home of potato salad.
Yeah. Unfortunately, racism knows no bounds.
You're not wrong.
That's basically it.
Yeah. What else do you got?
All right. So this is actually a follow-up on a story back. God, how long ago was this? It was in 2019. Oh my god. So in Galveston, Texas, someone was arrested by an officer on horseback, and for whatever fucking reason, they used rope to tie the guy's hands together and then walked him down the street while one of their officers was still on horseback.
Ye fucking
Which is
ha?
obviously like incredibly embarrassing and denigrating for one, but just completely unnecessary.
Yes.
And so the guy who this happened to filed a lawsuit for $1 million into the police department for the extreme and outrageous conduct by the officers, causing him emotional and mental anguish, which I'm not fucking surprised by. Like,
Yes.
no shit. That's horrible. So, yeah.
Sounds like someone just wanted to fucking play cowboy that day.
Yeah. It's not like he was doing anything particularly bad either. They arrested him for criminal trespassing,
The fuck?
which were later dismissed in court. What? Yeah, this whole thing's a joke. So I hope this is like open and shut. They should just settle and give him what he wants. Let's just be done with it. You fucked up.
You done goofed. If I hope this is like a fucking wake up call that, like, a lot of police departments, you don't have to kill someone to realize you got fucking jackasses in your police department.
Yep.
Ugh.
So the last piece of like political type news I have is that the Senate is now meeting to discuss the Supreme Court nominee Amy Barrett.
Okay.
That's pretty much it so far. I hope to hell that they tear her apart. She is so wildly unqualified to be on the Supreme Court, like compared to her peers, that it's like hard to call them her peers. She has 3 years of experience being a judge.
Only 3?
She clearly, yeah, only 3. She's been a lawyer for longer than that, but she was put on as a federal appointment by Trump 3 years ago.
Wait, how long do you have to serve as a nurse before you can technically become a practicing doctor?
Longer than 3 years.
I was about to say.
Guaranteed. Yeah, no. It's really messed up. And I don't know.
I don't know.
Really, it's gonna be a hard news week for sure. With how, depending on how this goes, like compared to how Kavanaugh was, Kavanaugh personally did things a long time ago that made him potentially unqualified for it. But this is a person who fundamentally is deeply ingrained in a fringe religion, who is clearly only being put on the court with the express purpose to overturn multiple previously decided court cases.
Oh, yeah. No, she just fucking won the lottery.
Oh, yeah. And one of the other great things I heard was that apparently she was at the obviously she was at the event for her nomination for this position, the super spreader event that the Republicans had, where
I love that name, by the way.
She and her children, yeah, right. She and her children were maskless at the event. And now it has turned out that 2 other students and a teacher at her children's school have tested positive for COVID.
Nice.
Want to take a guess where they probably got it from?
I don't want to.
Definitely not from any of the 7 children who didn't have masks at the event, who probably brought it back with them.
Oh, you want to hear something kind of funny? We just had a massive breakout of COVID at our local high school up here.
Nice. I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
You can't stop kids from, being fucking kids.
Yeah. No. I'm surprised it took this long, to be honest. Of course, from what I understand, it's everybody's doing really well and no one's like in serious danger for their lives, but Holy shit, was that playing with fire?
Mm-hmm.
Mm. What else you got for me?
Okay. Tech news.
Oh,
Not really
hell
tech.
yeah.
Tech giant news. So Facebook has apparently now banned officially Holocaust denial content.
Good.
They said its new policy prohibits any content that denies or distorts the Holocaust. Zuckerberg wrote that he struggled with the tension between free speech and banning such posts, but that this is the right balance. I personally think Zuckerberg should. What was it? Have you seen the Firefox ads that they have going around on Twitter lately?
No.
So Firefox is starting some like um they call it unfuck the internet is literally what they call it, and they have this thing that rolls through with like unblank a bunch of different things that ram with fuck for unblank the internet, and one of them is unzuck,
Ha!
which is great.
I can get down with that.
Yeah, Facebook can do so much more. They're not a free bastion of speech. They can moderate their platform.
They are a private company.
They are a private company. They're not the government.
Yeah. Like, I understand the appeal of trying to provide a free speech platform, but unless it's like fucking 4chan where you can either moderate it and, claim your company has a reputation, or you can leave it like 4chan and let it be a cesspool.
Yep. And deal with the reputation that comes from that.
Yeah. I'm sorry, but there's a reason people go to 4chan for a reason, and you can't have the image of Facebook and have the content of 4chan.
Yep, it's usually not good.
Yeah. 4chan is the Wild West for a very damn good reason.
Yep. So I had that one. I also had one from Microsoft. This one is a bit dicier and not so clear cut. So Microsoft has won a court case and a court order for the seizure of ransomware botnet controls on the justification that because these botnets used modified Microsoft code, it was in violation of their copyright, and because of that they could physically seize the, as I understand it, they let me just skim through this real quick to make sure I have it right here.
Okay.
But as I understand it, it has to do with them like physically seizing assets that were misused to create these botnets and stop them from operating.
Okay.
So these, this kind of, for one, this is good to a point because these are groups that are trying to use things like ransomware and compromise computer systems, particularly like election systems in the US. So to that point, this is good that it's being handled. But on the other side, there is the problem that it's kind of a slippery slope to have Microsoft be able to legally claim because of copyright that they can do this.
Yes.
That is dangerous, I guess would be the way to put it. And it sets a pretty serious precedent for future cases.
I guess
because modifying copyrighted software is not at all uncommon.
No. And, look at Doom.
Right, yeah. People modify stuff all the time.
Yeah.
And if it comes down to a situation where it's at the discretion of the companies themselves as to whether or not they're going to seize assets through prosecution, I for one don't trust companies to make that decision.
Oh, Nintendo's gonna have a fucking field day.
Yeah. I wouldn't be so worried about Nintendo. They're pretty chill lately. Which, they used to be a lot worse, but they've eased back a lot. I'd be more worried about, companies like Microsoft and like Apple in particular for how they would respond to this, because they are much more protective of their copyright.
That's very true. Apple's fucking nightmarish.
Yep.
Like how they purposely make it so repair companies can't fuck with their stuff.
Yep.
Gross. What else do you got, Kyril? Hit me.
Okay, so that's pretty much all I have for U.S. news. Now I've got international.
I'm scared.
Um, it's a week. So Iran-backed militias have offered a truce in Iraq where they're operating under the condition that U.S. forces in Iraq remove themselves. So these are particularly forces like Hezbollah are operating in Iraq and have been carrying out attacks against American forces in Iraq, and they are funded by Iran. And there's other smaller Iraqi militias that are basically in the same situation, but Hezbollah is the most well known and most well organized. You know, they have like actual public relations people who have been giving official statements to news outlets regarding this.
Okay.
And yeah, this is kind of a lose-lose for the US because this is basically a way for these militias to give sort of like an out to say, yeah, we've put out, you know, we'll stop this, just leave. And now the US has to decide whether or not they're going to do that. And I can almost guarantee under Trump they won't.
Oh no.
No way. So yeah, and they've basically said if the U.S. doesn't withdraw, they will resume their military activities and potentially expand them, which isn't great.
Yeah, I
So
really have nothing to say to that.
yep, that's just more something that is happening, and yep. Armenia and Azerbaijan have been engaging in clashes last few weeks. This is going back to a dispute in 1994 over the disputed Nagorno-Karabakh region. They had a ceasefire in 1994, but no peace treaty was ever reached. Fighting has continued between the two countries. There was a ceasefire that was called a few days ago, and it is pretty rapidly falling apart as there has been continued shelling of the region. Again, not really much to go over there, but you know, having that ceasefire show up in the news was like, oh, maybe they're actually gonna fucking do something. But no, they're just gonna keep bombing each other.
Nothing ever changes.
Not really. Belarus, because that's still a thing.
I love it.
Lukashenko has authorized Belarus police to use lethal force if necessary against anti-government protesters, according to a senior government official. This is apparently a move in response to increased violent anti-Lukashenko groups. EU foreign ministers have said that they are ready to impose sanctions against Lukashenko, but have not yet.
Nice. I really don't have much to say that. Belarus is such a hot shit fest.
Yeah, no, it's messed up. The guy's been a dictator for over 20 years, and it's, I guess, not surprising that it's taking, you know, some work to get him out, but yeah.
I appreciate how slowly they're working through it, though. They could have had
yeah, I don't know. I mean, like,
revolution.
what are the people of Belarus supposed to do? It's really going to take international efforts, and it seems like those are happening now, but yeah. It's definitely an unfortunate situation all around.
Oh, I agree.
Okay. Polish divers have begun to defuse a British World War II bomb at the bottom of the Baltic Sea. This is a 19-foot tall boy, also known as an earthquake bomb, that is 5.4 tons, nearly half of which is explosives. These were dropped in World War II, and apparently one is embedded only 12 meters below the surface of the water with its nose sticking up. They're going to be detonating the charge inside the bomb by a remotely controlled device. They've spent days preparing the site, and anybody in the immediate area has already been evacuated. But yeah, that's one of the big things that is still a problem in a lot of Europe, is there's so much of this exploded ordnance that is just kind of everywhere, you know?
Oh, yeah.
That it's a serious problem.
Well, it's almost like they had these two massive wars there.
Yeah, you know, crazy, isn't it? I remember I was reading a story a few years back when like magnet fishing was starting to become like a phase that a lot of people were in, and people were trying to do it in like France, and they kept pulling like grenades out of rivers that were live. And it was like a serious problem where the police were just like, they came down and they were just like, stop doing this. We don't want to deal with these things. We don't have the capability to deal with these things.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a thing.
War sucks.
Mm-hmm. And
Especially
speaking of, for my last story, North Korea had a military parade and unveiled a new missile.
I'm scared.
Yeah, so this is apparently it's North Korea, so who really knows?
I'm surprised it didn't detonate when they revealed it.
Yeah, but this is an exceptionally large missile.
Okay.
Apparently, the last ICBMs that North Korea tested in 2017 had a range of 10,000 miles, which could reach nearly all of Western Europe and about half of the US mainland. These new ones are said to have a range of 13,000 kilometers, meaning it can deliver a single nuclear warhead anywhere in the US mainland, which now includes DC. This new ICBM, which has apparently yet to be tested, is similar, but it is longer and bigger around. So, yeah.
Wow.
The major thing about this is that they're basically, this is North Korea saying that they no longer need to increase the range of their missiles anymore. They can pretty much reach anywhere in the world. And rather than working on range, they're working on payload, which is pretty much the only thing you need a bigger missile for.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Whether or not it's a real missile, who knows? But given that they already have these prior ones that we know are capable of these kinds of things, it doesn't really make sense for them to be like, yeah, we have basically the same thing but slightly better, you know? It just doesn't make sense to do that. So it seems pretty legit, which is pretty terrifying.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that's pretty much what I got for today.
What a week.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody need a cigarette? I need a cigarette.
Right. Apparently something was going on with the NBA this week.
Really?
Apparently the Lakers won the championship.
I know nothing about the NBA.
Yeah, I don't either, but I've been seeing ads for it all over the place, and I'm just like, I don't care.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Lakers beat the Miami Heat 106-93 to seal a 4-2 victory and tie with the Boston Celtics for the most NBA championships at 17. That's a lot.
That is. Ugh. Did you hear we got more Spider-Man 3 news?
I did not. Go.
Yeah. You can tell we're desperate for movie news.
Yeah. Right.
Something we haven't had in like 2 years. Doctor Strange is going to be in the new Spider-Man.
Is this like a Marvel movie or a Sony?
It's a Marvel movie.
Okay.
Yeah, the deal went through, you know. But that's a thing. I don't know what to say about it because I don't know what they're fucking doing, so... I know Doctor Strange is a ghost dog in the comics that loves Spider-Man, so they better bring my goddamn ghost dog into this movie or else I will sue you, Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
For defamation of ghost dog.
Yes. I heard today that Donald Trump is the first president in like over 100 years, I think, to not have a dog in the White House.
What?
Yeah.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
Why doesn't Donnie have a dog?
I mean, there's plenty of easy jokes to make about that, but yeah, I mean, that's basically the general consensus is why not?
Yeah. Like, dude would probably mellow out if he had a good dog around.
One of the jokes I heard that was like, as why he doesn't is because he could never love anything other than himself enough to take care of it.
Oh. Then get a cat. cat
Yeah.
would be easier to take care of.
Mike Pence has a rabbit.
Really?
Yeah.
He doesn't strike me as a rabbit kind of guy.
What's its name? Has an odd name. Marlon Bundo,
Fuck.
which is a pretty good name for a rabbit.
Yeah, Pence, you just became a little likable in my eyes.
Yeah. Um, John Oliver did a piece on Pence. I think it was earlier this year. It was either earlier this year or late last year. And he said at the start of it, if you do like Pence, don't worry, I'll say at least one nice thing about him in the show. And the one nice thing is that I like his rabbit.
I'm sure he's a good bun.
Yeah. See, I mean, it's a rabbit. How bad can a rabbit be? Right?
Have you ever read Bunincula?
I actually haven't.
Do you know what Bunincula is?
I actually don't.
It was a set of children's novels they were old when we were young. That
Mm-hmm.
I remember reading. It was about a rabbit vampire.
Okay.
And the whole book was about a family that adopted this rabbit vampire called Bunincula, and the cat and the dog of this family had to keep Bunincula from eating the family.
Huh.
So, yes, in fact, they were out of ideas around the 70s. Thank you for asking.
Yes. Yes, they were.
I know it also got like a cartoon for a while, which was really fucking weird. Oh, I was right. 1979. That was when Bunincula's first book came out. I was right. Hell yeah. Just by a smidge. Uh,
So apparently,
yes.
DC has a new TV show called Stargirl.
Okay.
I've never heard. This is like another one in the long line of Marvel and DC obscure characters that get TV shows, I guess.
Oh yeah. Uh,
But to me, it looks like DC's version of a Captain Marvel, just in the way that they're theming like the promotional material for it. Oh yeah, that's like I'll send you two pictures here
Send me those two pics.
because this is like blatant. So here's a good old Captain Marvel poster for reference.
Hi,
In
Brie
case you
Larson.
forgot. Here's Stargirl.
I'm scared. Whoa.
Yeah,
Hi.
that's like younger Brie Larson.
Yeah, that looks like her little sister.
Yep.
That's when you have
That's
like
apparently
a. Oh, go on.
that's apparently kind of the idea of it is that Stargirl is a high school student in this show.
Okay.
Um, but I found it funny because it's doing better on ratings than Marvel Captain Marvel was.
Well, was it made with an express political agenda?
I don't know. They say it's fun for the whole family, so who the hell knows?
Fuck, I don't even know what that means anymore.
It means they probably don't swear.
Oh. Well, if that's the case, I happen to know a couple strip clubs that are fun for the whole family.
Yeah.
But seriously, you ever realize how family entertainment's kind of lost its value nowadays?
Oh yeah.
It
Totally.
really means nothing. I was at my folks' house and they have Disney Plus running on their TV,
Mm-hmm.
and my little brother wanted to watch all the X-Men movies because he thought they were important to the MCU.
That's adorable.
Isn't it? He didn't know what it was like growing up with that shit.
Oh man, in the
He's
dark
like,
ages
I want to start with X-Men Apocalypse.
of. Just let everyone die.
Yeah, holy shit, kid. That's like starting with Logan.
Logan was a good movie though.
Logan was the best X-Men movie of them all. Fact.
It's the only good X-Men movie.
I
With
have a
hindsight
soft
for what a
spot
good
like-
superhero movie should be, all of the like original X-Men films are basically trash.
Yeah. I have a soft spot for the cheesiness of X2, but that's about it.
Yeah. I guess the first X-Men movie is kind of entertaining for that same reason, where it's just like it's a relic.
What about Deadpool though? Would you count Deadpool as an X-Men movie?
No, I wouldn't.
Okay.
X-Men movies are pretty specific. Like the same way, I wouldn't necessarily consider Logan an X-Men movie
Okay.
because it's focused on a specific character. Same way that like Iron Man is an Avengers movie, even though it has Iron Man in it.
Yes.
Same idea as that for me.
Okay. I dig that. I dig it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know. What do you think is the worst superhero movie of them all?
The worst. How hot should my take be?
Fucking hit me with your best shot.
Iron Man 3.
Wow.
I hate Iron Man 3 so much.
I've actually never seen Iron Man 3.
I don't like it at all. Like Iron Man 2 is bad, but I can still enjoy it just because of how absurd it is and it's got good CG. Iron Man 3 just makes Tony Stark look like a piece of shit in my eye. It makes him look like an asshole, and I don't get why people like it.
To be fair, that was his thing in the comics for a very long time.
Yeah, but that's not his thing at this point in the movies.
Oh no. I agree.
They've like clearly portrayed him as someone who is grown as a person, and he just acts like an asshole for the sake of being an asshole.
What if he
And I
just
don't get it.
relapsed?
I don't know. Like the whole point in Iron Man 3 is that some shit happens and he like basically loses his Iron Man suit, and there's a scene where he has to work with this kid in some town to fix the suit back to working again. And he just acts like an asshole to the kid the whole time, but for whatever reason the kid likes him because he likes Iron Man, and he ends up being like a surrogate father for this kid who doesn't have a father. And it's like, what? Because he's at the end of Infinity War Part 2. Endgame.
Yeah. You know,
He's
I've
at
seen
the fucking
Homecoming as
funeral.
well. I know about the kid's storyline.
What?
I said I've seen Homecoming as well. I know about
No,
the kid's
not that
story.
kid. God damn it. It's the wrong kid. That is actually character development there. This is just some random fucking kid that Tony Stark runs into. I mean, I should probably watch the movie again to actually form an opinion on it, but I don't want to.
I don't blame
Really
you.
didn't enjoy watching it.
If I can be honest, as much as I love the Marvel movies and the MCU as a concept, I think
I'm sorry,
only
I have to change my opinion though.
What?
I forgot that the second Thor movie exists.
I was about to say, I think about maybe a half the MCU movies are hot trash.
Yeah. There's a lot of bad ones.
Yeah, and while I respect what they built up to, and it's definitely worth the journey, you cannot tell me Thor: The Dark World is a good movie.
So bad.
Oh my god.
Do you like Dutch angles?
Fuck.
Do we have some Dutch angles for you?
These are Norse Dutch angles.
Oh my god.
God. And then, I don't know, man. Like, there's just. That movie makes no actual impact in the whole larger Marvel movies. Like, Thor is still Thor at the end.
Yeah.
Loki is still Loki at the end, even though he's supposed to fucking die. But the plot twist at the end.
Yeah.
Plot
and
twist.
It sets up like a serious plot point for the actual greater storyline that's completely irrelevant to the actual story they tell in the movie.
It's literally, you can skip that movie and just know, like, somewhere along the lines, oh yeah, Redstone is somewhere out there.
Yep. And then you get to Infinity War and it's just like, oh, collector guy has Redstone, fine by me. He collects things, that makes sense.
Yeah. Holy shit. You know, the only reason I think we're getting Thor 4 is to make up for Dark World.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried watching the original Thor, now that we're so used to the modern Chris Hemsworth?
The original? No, I haven't.
He looks so fucking different. Like,
does he?
Picture Thor in your head right now, right?
Yes.
You're probably thinking somewhere along the lines of Ragnarok's, like, original stuff, right?
Yeah. A bit. Yes, very roughly. I'm trying to, to a point, yes, but I also am trying to account for the character development that has happened over the series.
Yeah.
But yes. To a point, yes.
Well, I was watching, like, I just happened to stumble upon Thor, the original Thor movie, right? While hanging out with my mother, and I saw, like, this baby-faced Chris Hemsworth, and I'm trying to find it right now. Because, like, he has gotten more muscular over the years.
Oh, yeah, no, totally.
Yeah. Okay, here it is. I'm gonna send you an image. It's the Thor on the far right is like what I consider like holy
Okay.
fuck, he's changed.
Oh wow, yeah, I see what you mean. It looks like it actually looks like Matt Damon almost.
Yeah, you can tell they dye his beard now because
Yeah,
like it's
no, totally.
yeah. It's so weird to go back and see that Thor now that I'm used to like fucking actual Herculean like Thor now.
Wait, did they have? I can't remember. Did they have Matt Damon as? No, he was as Loki.
Oh yeah,
That's a
yeah.
complete missed opportunity because that's like remarkably similar with that baby face.
Oh fuck! Look at that baby face.
Well, yeah, one of the other things that they've really done though too that is they just generally made him look like dirtier, kind of
Yeah,
scruffier,
like an actual
and it
fucking
really helps a
Viking.
lot. Yeah, his armor's not literally glistening anymore.
No, he does like. I'm sorry. The Thor, like back to that image I sent you on Discord. The Thor on the
Yes.
right uses L'Oreal every fucking
Oh yeah,
morning because he's worth
hundred
it.
percent.
The fucking Thor on the left uses his fucking Asgardian sweat and the blood of his enemies as conditioner.
Yes, totally.
Because he is worth it.
Yep.
Damn. Ooh, someone sent me a text.
Oh boy.
It's my girlfriend. Anyway,
Uh, with it being such a slow movie year, I've been looking through some of the Rotten Tomatoes articles that they have on right now,
yeah.
and one of them, because Halloween, is their top 90 horror movies of the 70s.
Fuck.
And which one is this? I have to I haven't seen so many of these in so long. Like I can't remember anything about like I know I've seen Halloween, but I can't remember anything about it.
Yeah. I don't
No,
even.
I'm thinking of The Exorcist. Halloween is fine being on this list where it is. Where is The Exorcist? Is that even in this? Am I even like in the right decade here?
I don't think you are. I think that's 80s.
Oh no, it might be actually. The Exorcist is 25. I think that's fair. That's a fun one to watch just to see how far horror's come. It's so campy.
Have you heard about the whole debacle with Rolling Stones, like new 500 albums of all time list?
No, I haven't.
They
I'm gonna
redid
have
the
to look this up.
whole list.
The whole like they didn't just update it; they just redid it.
They redid it.
Okay, what's the controversy over it,
Um,
or is there?
it really depends where you lean politically. Because
Okay,
a lot of conservatives think like this is more of a liberal agenda to switch this list. Um,
I'm skimming through the top 50 right now.
same.
I'm not seeing anything that's like particularly out of place here.
I mean,
There's a lot of this that I just haven't listened to, but knowing who the artists are, I can appreciate why they would be as high as they are.
so number 10 is Lauryn Hill, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, which is a fucking good album, by the way.
Uh huh.
Um, the reason it's on the list, the first sentence is, "This is a very sexist industry."
Yeah.
Yeah. I have no problem with a lot of these albums on here. I think some of them could
Oh yeah.
go a little lower, but I'm really not the kind of person who would was pulled from this kind of stuff. It's weird.
Is that how they do it? It's like based on like
Polls.
polls.
Yeah, they get like certain people that they consider
Yeah.
like reputable musicians or musicologists.
Oh, okay, like that. So it's not just like anyone. It's
No.
specific people.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Like they
That's
pull-
fine then.
Yeah.
Stones, Aretha Franklin, Thriller at 12. That's fine.
I don't know. Thriller, I feel, should go in top 10.
Ah,
What?
I I wouldn't necessarily put it in top 10. I think at 12 is fine. If it was in top 10, I wouldn't think twice about it. But on a list of the top 500 albums of all time, I mean, oh, Fleetwood Mac Rumors, yeah, that's legit.
Yeah.
Nirvana, yep.
Did I ever tell you like my really controversial opinion about Prince?
Nope, I don't think so.
I don't think the Purple Rain album is that great.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think it's his best album by far. I think 1999 is his best album.
Huh.
I know. That's really fucking weird.
I would not have guessed Marvin Gaye being number one, but I can certainly respect it.
Oh yeah. Like there's nothing wrong with this list. It's not fat like, you know.
Oh no, I mean, yeah, it wouldn't be my list, but that's because this isn't any one person's list.
Of course. I don't know. What would you maybe that's a better topic for another day.
I am incredibly disappointed that there's not a single dance album in the top 50.
I agree.
Like, how far back am I gonna have to go before I see a dance artist I know?
I don't think you're gonna see one on here. Just because I know your
Because
taste.
there is. I mean, I guess that might as well just be indicative of who they considered appropriate for writing the list, who they polled.
Yeah.
Because this is a lot of pre 2000s.
Yeah, it's really like that's a good way of putting it.
Some of the more modern stuff, like, is early 2000s. Jay-Z, Kanye West.
Yeah. I think it's really evocative that they put literally an album from 2004 on number 500.
Yup.
Yeah.
Most of this is 60s, 70s, and 80s too.
Yeah. I don't know. I think this is a really interesting turnabout in music that they've redone the 500.
Oh yeah. Oh, Frank Ocean, Channel Orange. I would not have guessed that one. Eminem, Marshall Mathers LP. This is top 150 I'm looking through right now.
Yeah. Where's the infamous Orion on this list?
Seriously.
Yeah.
Adele 21. That is a phenomenal album. That should be higher up. 137 is too low for that. It shits on some stuff from like the golden rock era.
Oh, really?
Have you listened to her either of her albums?
I think okay, yeah, my parents had 21, so I definitely agree with you on that one.
21 is just 21 and what is it? 19, 23? I don't remember how she did it. They're both great albums, but 21 is like every single song is amazing.
I will say 21 has no filler tracks, and that's fucking impressive, especially.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am definitely making some pretty big assumptions as to who they pulled for this list, but
Yeah, you can
I
kind of
guess
tell.
I would be very interested to know what the criteria that they sent out for this is, because even if you like start at like the top 500, there's a very brief forward on it. When we first did the RS 500 in 2003, people were talking about the death of the album. The album, and especially the album release, is more relevant than ever. In 2003, we allowed votes for compilations and greatest hits albums, mainly because a well-made compilation can be just as coherent and significant as an LP, because compilations help shape music history, and because many hugely important artists recorded their best works before the album had arrived at its prominent format. Of course, it could still be argued that embarking on a project like this is increasingly difficult in an era of streaming and fragmented taste, but that was part of what made rebooting the RS 500 fascinating and fun. 86 of the albums on this list are from this century, and 154 are new additions that weren't on the 2003 or 2012 version. The classics are still the classics, but the canon keeps getting bigger and bigger, and I can guarantee there's probably not a single dance musician on here. Shakira, that is a stretch.
Ouch.
I would not consider Shakira to be dance. That's closer to, I don't even, yeah, dance rock set. That leans heavily on the rock set and much more closer to like hip hop than dance, especially if you're talking 90s dance.
If it makes you feel better, I'm not seeing much jazz.
Yeah, like what the hell? I think I saw some Coltrane in the top 50, but
Okay,
not enough.
no. And that's like the problem with doing like mainstream music at bias like this.
Yep.
Because I would argue since the very beginning of time, jazz has never been a mainstream commodity.
Yep. God, I wish there was like a text version of this that I could just search through.
Oh, you didn't have
Because
to
I
wait
have
for
a
these.
few. Well,
What?
I mean, like I have a few very specific albums that I would put in here for like the best dance music of all time.
Yeah.
But I don't want to scroll through 500 entries to look.
Hmm.
Let's see if I can actually find. Oh, here we go.
They put
Wikipedia.
Kinda Blue on
Thank you.
32. Why would they put Kinda Blue on 32?
Huh.
What's up?
I'm looking, scanning through the Wikipedia article. Just curious on like statistics wise.
You know, I think this should be something Rolling Stones does a lot more with
Mm-hmm.
like do this like once every 5 years or so.
I would agree. They apparently updated it in 2012.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. In each version of their top 500, their distribution of this has skewed heavily towards the 70s,
Really?
which isn't too surprising, but I wouldn't agree with it.
Funny that you say that because number one is literally an album from the 70s right now.
Yeah.
Yarg. I don't know. Like, now that I think about it, this is like what's going on right now
Mm-hmm.
is a pretty good sign of the times. I'm talking about the album, not the like the actual state of what's going on right now. But
Right.
yeah, I don't know. That album aged remarkably well.
Well,
Hmm.
I'm just gonna have to do it by brute force.
What? Try and find your dance music?
Try and find any dance music.
While you do that, I need to use the bathroom real quick and get a water.
Yeah, no problem, no problem.
Good luck,
Um,
sailor.
yeah, right.
Audience, please accompany my good friend here because he's going to need it.
Yeah, this is gonna be a frustrating journey to say the least.
An emotional, like, ugh. I'll be right back.
This is also a pretty terrible website to try to navigate through. The way they have this broken up is in 50 album blocks. And it just takes an eternity to try to navigate through this. The like I get why they did it the way they did, but having the option to just load the whole page at once would be much nicer. Arctic Monkeys at 346. That's a weird pick. Oh, finally. Okay. So we have exactly one, which is one more than I expected. But it's also kind of a cop out.
Ah, okay.
Okay, I'm up to 250 now. I still have 250 to 150 to go through, and I have exactly one. You want to take a guess? I'm sure
My
you could probably
headphones
get
are
it. Oh no, I'm sorry, two
falling
because
apart. Okay, there we
they
go.
like cheating.
Fixed up. So, I kind of half lied about that, by the way. We have a cat out on our porch right now that's kind of living with
Okay.
us.
Okay.
Just some strange cat. And I went to go feed her as well. And so I go out there with some tuna and whatnot, place it down where she usually comes to get it. She comes
Mm.
jumping out from behind my grill and tries to smack it down my hand. And she's like, "Bitch, let me inside." I'm pretty sure it's a domesticated cat that we just found, because she
Yeah,
obviously
that would
knows
make
inside
sense.
is a good place.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "No, Mrs. Kitty, can't have that. You just stay out here in the cold, and here's some food. You were going to send her to the pound soon. We're just waiting on her appointment."
Mm.
And my dog is flipping out because of this cat. So much
Yeah,
so
that makes
that
sense.
when I turn around, my window, like our slider window, is all foggy from my little Boston Terrier heavy breathing directly on it after this cat. So, yeah, my dog is a murderous psychopath.
Yeah. But the cat probably is too, so it
Oh, yeah,
balances
it's a
out.
cat. You know, I'm just glad that my dog has not gotten rabies from this cat.
Yep. So do you want to take a guess at what the dance albums on here are?
Sure, hit me.
Take a guess. You'll get it. 100% you'll get it. You'll at least get the artist.
Will I?
Both of them are the same artist. Yeah, you 100% will.
Then it's fucking Daft Punk.
Yes. It
Okay.
is both Daft Punk.
I was gonna joke and say it was Darude Sandstorm, but
Which is fair. I mean, it's fair that Daft Punk is on the list, but
yeah. Wait, is
I would not say that either of their albums are should be the greatest of all time for when it comes to dance music.
no, was it Random Access Memory on there?
Random Access Memory is 295 and Discovery is 236.
Bullshit.
Discovery, I think, is fair. Discovery is fair for being on the list. I would not put Random Access Memories as top 500 of all time. I wouldn't put it as the second best dance album of all time. That's for fucking sure.
I don't think of Random Access Memory as dance music though. That's the thing. It's more like disco.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Like I think that's the main problem a lot of people have with Random Access Memory. It's such a departure from what Daft Punk usually does.
Yep.
And like, I don't know. I love the album, don't get me wrong. But I think the biggest problem with that album is it's a Daft Punk album.
Yeah. The other problem, though, for most dance musicians is that, and they talk about it, how they don't have strict albums. If you have like a live set, it's representative of what your work is at that time.
Yes.
But for like straight up an album, Dead Mouse 4x4 equals 12 absolutely deserves to be on this list. It is iconic and amazing.
I'm surprised there's no Dead Mouse or even Skrillex.
Skrillex does not deserve to be on the top 500. Skrillex doesn't deserve to be in the top 500 dance musicians of all time.
Damn.
Skrillex can fuck off.
Like, damn.
I would put like Cascade and Dead Mouse would be the two that I feel like would deserve to be in the top 500. Maybe Tiesto, but when you have like the fucking Beatles 9 times and then nothing from other genres at all, that tells me what all I need to know.
Oh yeah, no. The fact that it kind of blew, like, the pinnacle of its genre, according to this list, is number 32.
Uh huh.
Yeah.
It was really weird. Apparently, Arctic Monkeys AM is 346, which is just like, what? It really makes me wonder how they made this list, Because obviously, I very much doubt that any one person, even industry insiders, have like a top 500 list that they can put together themselves. They have to be pulling these people from like, I don't know. I want to know their methodology. I want to know how they did it because I don't believe
I don't
that
know
it
if
is
I've
accurate.
even listened to 500 albums in my life.
Exactly, right? That is a huge number. I would say I've probably listened to 500 albums. I would not say I've listened to 500 albums that I like or
Okay,
that I would
yeah, that's a better way
recommend.
of putting it. I'm opening my iTunes right now to see how many I actually own. More than less, like, listened to.
The fact that fucking Taylor Swift is in the top 100 just pisses me off.
Really?
Yeah, she's number 99 with Red.
Why do you. What's your opinion of Taylor Swift? I'm kind of interested in.
She's fine. She's very talented as an individual, but not top 100 albums.
Okay, I'll drink to that.
Like top 300, sure, but not literally top 100 of all time. No.
I agree. Like, I don't know. You know what I'm really surprised about?
What's that?
No dubstep.
Eh, I'm not surprised by that. Dubstep is a very it was very popular for a while, but there wasn't that much good music that came out of it that was like lasting, and there wasn't that much that actually had albums.
I was about to say, dubstep was such a flash in the pan thing.
Yeah. It pulled a lot of people into the dance scene in general and EDM in general, but it really didn't have much staying power. And people still do. I don't know. Dubstep was always so generic that there's a lot of stuff that you could probably like call dubstep, but it doesn't really help to. If that makes any sense?
Yeah, sorry.
Because
I'm just
you have like dubstep was always characterized by a big build up and then a drop.
Mhm.
And you do that a couple of times and there's your song. And some of it was good, but because of the way it was, none of it became particularly notable.
Okay, you ready for this?
Yeah.
I apparently own 224 albums.
I should probably check too.
So I can make half this list. Like, based off what I've listened to and have time to critically think of what I own. But there's probably albums I've listened to that I don't own, just through Spotify or YouTube that. Oh.
Yeah, the problem that I have is that I have a lot of albums, but there's also a lot of these that are like singles
Yeah.
or compilations. But I guess if you're talking about the best album, it's not necessarily something that has to be by a single artist, and compilations would qualify for that.
Yeah.
There's some damn good dance compilations out there that have been released.
What, in your opinion, is the best dance album of all time?
Dead Mouse 4x4 equals 12.
Okay.
It is okay, either that or which one is it? I want to say Tiesto's Club Life Volume 2 are both phenomenal and like the peak of what was considered like big house, where you have these iconic dance musicians from the 90s and early 2000s who are now making music specifically for performances.
Okay.
Both of those were made to be listened to continuously like a set, and it shows because the flow from the first song to the last song is perfect, and I could listen to those forever. 4x4 equals 12 especially. It is a fucking masterpiece. Oh, how many compilations do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have 74 compilations.
Oh shit.
On my iTunes. And I don't even want to count. Oh no, wait, there's a couple more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So like I have pretty close to 100 compilations, and I wouldn't even want to begin to count the number of albums I have because so many of these are either singles or like partly ripped off of other albums. They're all scattered, and it just kind of makes it messy.
Yeah, I take great pride in the fact that I've organized my music library a long time ago, and I've kept it organized and not let it fall into disarray.
Also, fucking Avicii. Avicii deserves to be on there. He's phenomenal. I'm surprised he isn't on there after he died relatively recently.
Like 3 years ago.
Yeah. Sort of helped bring some more attention to his work, though.
Of course.
Always kind of does. Just going off of things that have cover arts for them. What, 1, 2. So these aren't going to be anything that I like straight up ripped. This is at things that I either bought an album for, bought a single for the album, or partially burned a disc over to digital. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So 31, pretty close to 500 in total. But I wouldn't recommend all of these. There's some shit in here.
Oh, yeah. Apparently someone has found a way to deep fry water.
Oh, yeah. I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Water's weird. Water is a very, very weird thing.
And yet we drink it.
Mm-hmm. There's like literally entire areas of chemistry devoted to just trying to understand water because we just don't yet.
We really don't?
No, it's water is so unique of a chemical in its properties that there is a significant amount of it that we don't understand.
Huh. So what's so unique about it? 'Cause, I think as long as you like take apart the pieces of it, you should be able to understand it like from those, like what you know about those 3 pieces.
Right, and you would think that we would, but when we try to do that, there's a lot of stuff that doesn't work the way that we think it should. Really? It just doesn't behave right. Yeah.
Huh.
Water is really, really weird. It's partly because of how polar it is. When you look at its chemical structure, you have the oxygen and the 2 hydrogens, and it's not in a straight line. The hydrogens are sort of pointed towards each other, so you have these 2 very positive hydrogens pointing to one end of it, and the 1 very negative oxygen pointing to the other end of it, and it just ends up making it act really bizarrely and unexpected.
What? Okay, give me an example of something unexpected about water versus like a normal like reaction from an element.
So like water is not really a liquid.
Okay. What?
And depending on its temperature, its properties while vary drastically.
So what is it then? A plasma?
No, I mean it's one of those things where it's kind of. Let me just pull some stuff up so I don't just talk out my ass.
Spoken like a well-researched chemist.
Not right. But like this is like such a thing that at some of the conferences that I went to,
yes,
there were entire like week-long series of panels dedicated to people who were researching just water.
Holy shit.
Yeah. No, thank you, Libre texts. That is absolutely useless.
So, didn't you once tell me we still don't understand rain as well?
So kind of. That's like more of a theory thing, because it's
Okay.
not like you can send equipment yet. You can't yet send equipment up into the atmosphere to physically like watch rain form. But it has to do with surface tension and the fact that water doesn't want to come together. When water is in its like individual gaseous state, like it is in the atmosphere, it wants to stay a gas. It wants, because entropy, chaos. The universe wants to be as far away from itself as it is. That's why most things are, in the universe, there's empty space everywhere because things push each other apart. So it
Yes.
wants to stay separate. It wants to stay as an irregular gas. But by random chance, the water molecules bump into each other and they interact with each other. And then the problem you have, though, is that at a certain point, you have enough water together that the properties of it cause it to stay together. And you have surface tension because you have a surface. But it's getting from atoms of water to atoms of water that are all stuck together that is kind of a gray area. That there's like, this was a while ago. I'm sure things probably changed by now, but when I last looked into it, they didn't really fully understand with like certainty why it did what it did.
Wow. I'm not gonna lie, that blows my mind. Cause
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. This is why I like chemistry so much. But like, it's water. You automatically think like it's fucking water.
Yeah, right. It's everywhere.
Huh. So is it possible that it's killing us?
Um, yes and no. Technically, oxygen kills us.
Oh
You know,
yeah.
but not having oxygen kills us much quicker.
So what you're saying is we need better oxygen.
Or something other than oxygen that does the same thing.
Better oxygen.
Yes, but then it wouldn't be oxygen because it would be different.
Ah.
And if you have too much oxygen, you just die.
Oh yeah, O2.
Yep.
So what you're
So
saying is
yeah, computer modeling is one thing that's helping a lot because computers are better than people at modeling things like that, especially when there's like so many interactions happening in these huge states.
imagine if
One of the have you ever seen a phase diagram for water?
No, I've not.
Phase diagram of water. This is like not like intro level chemistry, but you learn it pretty on. Oh, that's a PNG. You get the idea, though. It's a comparison of temperature and pressure, and it determines physical constants of water and what state it's in. So we know that water boils at 100 Celsius and freezes at 0 Celsius.
Yes.
But there is a triple point, you can see it sort of in the middle there, where if you have a temperature that is just slightly above 0 Celsius and a pressure at a very certain point, in those very specific circumstances, water can be either a liquid, a gas, or a solid at the same time. And there's some pretty cool demonstrations that you can do. Water at the
So would that be like dry ice?
triple point. No, dry ice is carbon dioxide, frozen carbon dioxide. It rapidly cycles between all three states of water.
Huh.
So this is UC Santa Cruz Physics Demonstration Lab. The triple point occurs when the solid, liquid, and gas transition curves meet. The triple point is the only condition in which all three phases can coexist. Oh, that was not nearly long enough. Thank you, UC Santa whatever. And it is unique for every material. Water reaches its triple point at just above freezing, 0.1 Celsius, and at a pressure of 0.006 atoms, or atmosphere. So that is a very low pressure.
Holy shit.
Let's pull this up here. Oh, they had text that popped up. I don't know what that was about.
I don't know.
Okay, so I'm gonna send you this link real quick.
Yeah, please do.
Jump to about 40 seconds in, 45 seconds in, and you can clearly see in the video there's a piece of ice in the water, right?
Yes.
But because of the temperature and pressure conditions that it's under, the water is already starting to boil.
Holy crap.
So you have ice, which is solid. You have the water that's surrounding it, which is liquid. And you have the bubbles that are forming, which is the water turning into a vapor.
Yeah, but it's not like the whole water concentrate like
Right.
concoction
It's
itself.
happening in individual parts.
Yeah. That is so weird.
Right. And when it gets to this point, they all exist in equilibrium. So you have to find one way to keep it at that point, but it tries to balance out between all three of them to keep it there. And at a certain point, it starts to do it pretty rapidly, and it switches back and forth.
When it eventually run out of water, like the gas take over because the
Right.
yeah.
Eventually, yes, the gas would evaporate, and you're not able to keep it under its conditions. One of the better ways that I've seen it done isn't done in a watch glass like this. It's done in a sealed round bottom flask so that the vapor can't escape. It's trapped in the flask.
Oh my gosh,
But
that's
yeah,
so cool.
it's very cool.
Science, bitch.
And water's just fucking weird.
You know, you're like the Walter White of the show, and I'm the Jesse. God, I love that. That's so cool. I love science.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Science, bitch.
Science, bitch. So, I don't know what else to say, but that's really badass.
Mm-hmm.
And we put this
That's
shit
pretty
in our
much all.
body.
Yeah, right. What do you think? I forgot to ask this. What do you think the number one horror movie of the 70s is?
Oh,
Very popular.
very popular.
Yeah, this is based on Rotten Tomatoes ratings.
I really don't know 70s horror films that well, so I'm going to say I know it's not 80s, because that's like Friday the 13th and Freddy Krueger.
It's a movie that I personally would not consider to be a horror movie, and I'm kind of surprised they have it on the list.
The
Number
Shining.
2 as well. No, The Shining is pretty solidly horror, even though it is. It's Alien.
Really?
Yeah, they have Alien at number 1 and Jaws at number 2, which I guess, by the standards of the time, makes sense.
Yeah.
But based on our current standards, I wouldn't really consider either of those to truly be horror.
No, they're more thrillers.
Thriller and sort of sci-fi action-y kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Dramas, I guess. Especially Jaws. Jaws is much more about the characters than the shark.
Oh, of course. I don't know, man. When Jaws had that monologue halfway through about his values, it made me really feel like I got to know the character.
Yeah, right.
So what happens if we take a shark and put it in that triple point where everything's gas and ice and
Nothing good. No, the thing with triple point like that is that the pressure is so low that it's really hard to do on anything bigger than a scale like that. And there's not really, as far as I know at least, there's not really any sort of like practical applications of it. It's just kind of a cool thing that happens.
I mean, yeah.
And since water is so easy to get and its triple point is where it is, it's really easy to do demonstrations. I don't want to say easy. It's very possible to do demonstrations like that in a lab setting.
I'm just thinking about the poor shark.
Right. Technically, anything that has a liquid phase should have a triple point where it does that. It's just a matter of finding that point and actually being able to do it.
I feel bad for the scientists that have to do it for mercury.
Yeah, mercury would be really hard to get to a gas. That would probably be really hot. Mercury, I don't even know. I legitimately have no idea.
I mean, is that your field of chemistry? Like, what would you consider your field of chemistry to be?
So my field of chemistry is analytical chemistry.
Okay.
Presently, that's what I do at my job. We take, it's for a pharmaceutical company, so we take finished product and we analyze it using a variety of methods to make sure it is what it's supposed to be and it has the right amount of stuff in it.
Okay, so yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of a good way to describe it to the people at home. You're the guy that checks their homework.
Pretty much, yep. I'm the guy who makes sure that when you look at like the ingredients list on the back, the active ingredients list, it is actually that.
Has anybody tried ever bribing you to make a thing go by and pass?
Oh, no.
Okay.
Definitely not. And for the most part, we don't have much like interaction, at least not me personally, with anybody who would actually try to do something like that. We're kind of in our own area.
I was
Um,
about to say they probably
and
would keep you guys
yeah,
away from that.
there's so many different checks that go on along the way because I do the testing and then it's reviewed by someone else. Management reviews it after that. Then it's passed off to QA who does their own review of it, and then it actually gets released.
Huh.
So to try and do something like that would be challenging to say the least and downright impossible in a lot of cases.
Good.
Because now, there's so much of it that's done on computers now that it's not like you can just write down the wrong thing. The computer is taking these recordings.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it would be you'd have to, it would probably be something that someone with like a computer engineering or coding background would be better at than me.
Yeah. Okay then. Do you have anything else to contribute to the show?
No, I'm done.
Yeah, I'm about done as well.
I'm out.
Yeah. So thank you, Discord, for not having any problems today.
Right? It's so nice.
I lost that episode last week, right?
Oh no, I didn't hear.
Yeah, the audio got corrupted.
I mean, that figures.
Yeah.
What else could go wrong?
It was a fucking nightmare of an episode, ladies and gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
In the end, we only had like 40 minutes of actual audio that could be listenable. It was a bad day.
Yeah, it was not great.
I was fuming. I punched a puppy.
Oh no.
Oh yes. I did not punch a puppy, but
good.
I wanted to. Anyway, in the meantime, I'm the infamous Orion, and I'm going to find a puppy.
I'm Cairo, and I'm going to try to stop you.
I am like 60 miles away from you, bitch.
I have a car, damn it. I will drive
social
if
distancing.
my ass up there to stop you if I have to.
Social distancing.
True. Never mind.
Yeah, there we go.
Rip in peace, small puppy.
Yeah, there we go. No, I'm going to go to the gym. So I can get really swole to punch that puppy.
Get swole. Do it once and do it right.
And this has been the Dark Humor Show. Thank you and have a good night.